Welcome to day 11 of our AI automation challenge, the 30 days AI automation challenge. And today we are going to be building a RAG pipeline. RAG is retrieval augmented generation. Remember yesterday when we created our WhatsApp chatbot that's on my screen, we said we needed to give it knowledge base, but we just kind of did a simple thing by converting our document to JSON to feed the AI agent. But today we want to build a proper RAG. So I will explain what RAG is, and then we will complete what we started yesterday by building the RAG pipeline. So when we talk about RAG itself, what does it mean? I said earlier on, it is retrieval augmented generation. So you know all those LLMs that we use, some of them have been trained, all of them rather have been trained on data. And if you ask it questions that are private to your organization, to your company, or to yourself, that the AI or the LLM they are not trained on, they don't know about, they won't be able to respond to you. For example, if you ask it what questions about your company's warranty policy, and then the LLM will probably say, you don't what, I don't know anything about that. But if you now introduce your own private knowledge, your own organization's data, or your personal information with the LLM, then you are going to get the retrieval augmented generation. So let me show you the complete pipeline that we are going to be building just for you to better understand how RAG works. You know, all your documents, you've got your PDFs, your text document, it could be your Excel files, everything about your company, they are your source documents. You want to chunk them, to be able to properly use them in your vector database, there will be tokenization and chunking, meaning your complete textbook, for example, you are now breaking it down into paragraphs or into pages, for so that something can easily understand what is in there. So that's chunking. Everything is being broken down into chunks, and then your AI embedding model will convert all those things and create what we call your vector, and then that will be fed inside your vector database. So in our vector database, likely words that are usually around each other will probably be in the same space in the vector. For those of us that study physics or any other thing, or mathematics as such, we're talking about vector, you're three dimension, you're like, okay, this is here, here, and here. For example, look at the diagram here. These are animals. They are close to each other, and this is frontier, kind of far from where the animals are. So your document will be chunked, and create a vector database so that when somebody is talking about, let's say, pricing, anything that has to do with pricing or that goes with pricing will be close to each other in your vector database, making it easier for this to work effectively. So by the time you now build the vector database, then you can now ask it questions about your own personal document or private document. Then it will be able to go inside the vector database plus the LLM model, and then give you what you want. So this is like what we are going to be building today. So to do this, we are going to be using what we call Pinecone, which is a vector database platform that can help us create the database. But don't worry, let's get into it. You can open what we did yesterday. This is what we did yesterday. Just push it aside. What we want to do is to give this a memory. We want to give this a memory. We want to give it proper knowledge base. So the first node that I'll be adding is the Google Drive. Okay, so we are adding the Google Drive, meaning all our files, I want to store them inside the Google Drive. So come down to where you have triggers, and then you choose on changes involving a specific folder. So what do I mean by that? I want to create a folder on my Google Drive. So all the company's files will be stored in there. So we'll be dropping the files inside a folder, and then we want our vector database to be trained or to use up all those content. So anytime we have a new thing, just drop it in the folder. You don't need to go through your workflow again. That's what we want. But before we can connect to the Google Drive, we need to create our credentials. I know all along we've been using Sheets or email. For Google Drive, you're still going to change something. All right. Let me create new credentials. So let's create new credentials. It will require what? Client ID and client secrets. We've done this before, so you can go back to your Google console, the cloud dot Google here, the console here. Just come in here and search for Drive, and you're looking for Google Drive API. So get to the Google Drive API. You want to enable it so that you can use it on your n8n. So you want to enable the Google Drive API. I have mine enabled. If you do not have yours enabled, there will be enable where I have manage here, and you just need to click on it to change it to manage, to enable it. So enable it, number one thing you're doing here. Then you go back to the application you created there. You come here where we've been copying our client ID and our client secrets. You need this authorized redirect URL. Remember, we did that with render. So you need authorized redirect URL for the Google Drive API. So where is that? If you come back to your n8n here, you scroll up here, you will see this redirect URL. So you click to copy, and then you go back to Google Cloud. Let me delete what I have here and add it. Then you paste. So you are adding the redirect URL from n8n here, and you save. It is when you do this that you can now copy the client ID and the client secret for it to work on anything. So let's open it back here and copy the client ID and the client secret. So copy this, come back to your n8n, paste it in the ID. Okay, go back there and copy the secret, and also put that in here. I've done that. So I can save it, I can rename this like I said yesterday. Let's say Olalikon Drive, in case you want to connect to multiple drives. So you can rename this and save. So this way, credentials created successfully, and I can now log into my Google account where I have the drive. Okay, so I'll pick my email here and accept all the requests here. I'll grant it access, grant all the access needed here, and continue. So it will tell you connection successful. So I've successfully connected to my Google Drive. So let's come back here. So credentials, we've connected, mode every minute, which is fine. So we are not changing anything here except for the folder. So you need to select the folder where you have all your company's data. So let me go back to my Google Drive. I created a folder in Google Drive here. You can just click on new and choose um, new folder, create a folder. This is the folder I created. I called it Office FAQ. And inside that folder, I dropped this file. So I just need to keep updating this folder. I'll just upload new files there, and then the folder will still work in my n8n. So we have a folder. Let's select it from the list. It is Office FAQ. So I clicked on Office FAQ. I have it here. Then I want it to watch for what? What should it watch for? File created. So once a file is created in my Google Drive, I want this guy to fetch it. So let's fetch and test if it's working. We should be able to see that file here. So yes, it's working. Let me just change it to table and let's try and see. Okay, see it's working. There is file name somewhere here. You see original file name, automation workflow. That's the PDF that I uploaded. So we are done with the first node there. So we have this done. The second node is still going to be Google Drive, but this time around, we are downloading what this one will be fetching. So the first one here is fetching the file from our Google Drive. The second one is download file. We'll download the file and then we can use it. So choose your credentials here. Everything here stays. The difference here, no difference. Anyways, choose your file, but this time around, the file here will be dynamic. So we are changing to by ID, and then we'll look for the file ID here and drag it there. So I'll scroll down to where we have the file ID. This is it. So I'll drag the ID here. So what that means is when a new file is introduced, it should fetch that file. So it keeps updating my knowledge base here. Now that we've done this, can we test it and see? Execute step. It should show me the file here. Good. So the file is here now. Look at it. Automation workflow consulting 60.9 KB. So the file is here and it is in the binary format is the one that is suitable for what we want to do because we can easily download it this way. If you switch to JSON, it's just going to be in this format, which it's not appropriate for what we want now. So we need it in binary format. I just want to point that out. So right now we have two nodes, Google Drive, fetch the file, another Google Drive, download the file. So where are we feeding the file in? We will be using a platform called Pinecone. Pinecone. So this is Pinecone. We use pinecone.io. You can sign up there for free. You use it to create your vector database. You have free credit that you can use there. So I'm not paying here. We're using the free plan, pinecone.io. When you log in, sign up with your mail. When you get here, you can create API here. So you can call it any name. I can call it FAQ and then create the key. It will give me the API key for free. I can copy it, then come back to Pinecone here and add new credential and just paste the API key. Then I can rename this and say FAQ API and save. That is done. So we've done that. We also need to choose the index here. So our job is not done over there. We need to go back to PyCon and go to indexes and create index for that particular project. So I'll call it FAQ. I'll call it FAQ index. So you can choose the configuration here. Text embedding small is suitable, but I want to configure it manually. So manually, and then you can give it a dimension 1536, any dimension that you want, and then leave all other things and create. So you are creating an index. Don't forget what we are doing here is to get our vector database that we will be able to use in our pipeline. That's all we've done here, and it is FAQ index. So we can come back here now, and from the list, click on from list. It will fetch all indexes on your Pinecone. Look at the one we just created, FAQ index, and that's all. But we can also create what we call namespace, meaning you want to organize your indexes and everything over there on Pinecone. So if I call it F Office Office doc or FAQ index or anything here, Office doc as my namespace here, that's fine. So let's close this. But for our Pinecone vector store, it needs two things to work, embeddings and document. So we need to add those two things. Look at it here, similar to our AI agent. So we need the embedding model that will work with the Pinecone vector. So search for embeddings here, embeddings OpenAI. That's the one I'm using because I have OpenAI key. So here you will create your credentials. If you are still using the free one, many of you have been complaining that it is saying you've reached quota. So you need to pay, subscribe to the API keys on OpenAI. You can just do $5 and keep it there for all your learnings. So the model, you can choose the small one, and then maybe you want to add the batch size here and 15316 here, and that's fine. So I can close this, and it remains just one more thing, and then we are done. The document loader. So you click on this and bring in the document loader. So I already told you that we want this data in binary because that is the one that is going to be easy for uh, Pinecone to work with. So we're not changing anything here other than binary, and we'll close. When we are done with that, we can then try and execute this. All things being equal, it should show you something here that yes, it's working, and then we're done with our rag. So let me execute the step. If this goes on well, see, it's saying that it has seen it, node has executed successfully. If you go back to Pinecone, look at it now under that FAQ index. Scroll down, look at it. It has done the chunking and every other thing for my file. See, it has done it for my file here. So my vector database is cool now. I can now use it inside my n8n. So next time I want to update my rag here with the knowledge base, I'll just go inside my drive here and add another file. If I add another file, I don't even need to, touch anything here because this trigger says when a new file is added, then it will update my database by knowledge base. So everything about your company, you can just populate the folder with it, and then you have your solid knowledge base. So the next question will probably be, how do we now add it to the agent here? So how will my WhatsApp agent leverage on the information in my knowledge base to respond to our clients? So we had this Pinecone and had it here. So come to tools here and choose Pinecone. Choose the Pinecone here, just like we configured earlier on. So choose the one that you will need, the one I just configured. Is it this one or index? I can't even remember. Anyone. And then the index here will be FAQ index. You can put description here if you want, but I'll just keep that. And that's all. So that's all. I will close this, and my Pinecone also needs an embedding because Pinecone vector will not work without the embedding model. So I'll choose here and click on embeddings OpenAI. What we did earlier on, just choose this and we're fine. Fine. So this way, our entire, because I click the description, I can say fetch office data. That's all. Fetch office data. So all things being equal, this should help us and get everything that we need. So this our Pinecone, if you run this one, will service this, and this will be able to help the agent get the information that is required. So this is RAG that we are building that will help us, populate our knowledge base with the right information about our company. So that when people are asking specific questions on WhatsApp or Telegram or any of the chatbots that we've connected to our agents, it will be able to give you the right response, give them the right response. So this is what we are doing today. I want you to build this, engage, let's keep pushing, let's keep trying. If I've done something and you're still not clear, you still don't, understand, there are lots of videos on YouTube. You can ask AI. In fact, anything is here. Look at it, anything AI. If you click on it and chat with it, ask it questions about what you're struggling with, it will help you. So this is what we'll be doing today. This is the end of the class. See you tomorrow.